I'm Carly. 4, 3, spaghetti taco. Welcome to the new iCarly.
This is not how I imagined my life.
iCarly. We'll help however we can.
I'm really glad to hear you say that.
The very first thing I need to say to you is our producer, Connie, sweaty hands the whole bit. She's like, tell them I love them.
Oh, we love you, Connie.
And
Connie, we love you.
Yeah, several
We
staff
love you
members.
so much.
And the reason why is the power of the kind of TV that you did. There are kids who grew up with you. In fact, you all grew up with yourselves on the show. I'll start with you, Nathan. You're 14 years old when iCarly first started. You were balancing your real life, which blended with your character life.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly think by the end of that first show, we were largely the same person. So everything came out pretty naturally, and in a way that sort of translated to this new show. Granted, I have not been twice divorced and adopted a daughter and failed at all of my business ventures.
I am in no place to date.
Freddie! I put your warm milk in your thermos next to your bed.
So we done here?
So that part is a little bit
It's
different.
not for a lack of trying, though.
Not for lack of trying. I tried to really stick to the, art imitating life thing. But yeah, it's been quite a process and very fun to see a different take than I would have expected for this character, but getting to flesh that out on an adult show as opposed to a more traditional reboot model and getting a little bit more leeway to explore what that's like has been very, very fun.
Wow, I clearly did it all wrong. Pursued my dreams, married for love, 2 divorces, and a failed startup later. I'm back living with my mom. Maybe instead of figuring out my next tech venture, I'll just melt some marshmallows.
Jerry, let's back up for a second for those who are kind of new to the fold.
back up.
Yeah, back it up. Boop, boop, boop. Back up the truck. And explain to people the premise of iCarly back then and then today.
Well, back then, it was a show about some tweens that wanted to express themselves and start their own web show, which was a novelty back then. And then they sort of became internet famous when that wasn't even a thing. And now, 10 years later, they're grown-ups, and the entire internet is internet famous. Everybody's a web star and in their own home and out in public.
Millicent, do not post that.
I'm making content.
Told you to stop recording me.
Yeah.
Blocking traffic in crosswalks. They needed to knock it off.
And share your character with us then and now.
Spencer then, basically Spencer now. Weird, lighting stuff on fire.
You earned your success. You're the guy who made the marshmallow White House sculpture. The way that it was half melted to reflect our disintegrating democracy.
It was an accident. I left it next to my cell phone, which broke out into a spontaneous fire. Anyway, now I own a falcon named Jericho.
This season, wearing a lot of odd costumes and outfits, and you discover how he spent his free time in between the 2 series, the original and now. And let me tell you, it's disturbing.
If it's average Spencer the people want, then it's average Spencer the people will get. I'm gonna give away enough of my money so that I'm no longer part of the 1%.
All right, Nathan, Freddie then and now.
So Freddie then, the adorkable tech nerd producer of the show who did all the behind the scenes stuff, largely the same. He has tried to take his skills and transition them into a technology business, and everything he does just completely crashes and burns.
It looks like Freddie is proposing to Carly.
If you had been here, you would have laughed and laughed or made the face you're making right now.
However, that's been the cool thing is the show started with him in a very, very low place. He didn't even look like himself. He was a husk of what Freddie was, but as the show has progressed through seasons 1 and 2, you kind of start seeing him get his mojo back and he becomes a little bit more like his old self.
Well, you could always invest in your old pal Freddie again. I mean, this head is full of ideas.
And I think that culminates a lot in season 3.
A lot of times when we connect with the show, right, and then all of a sudden it goes away, we literally mourn a sense of loss. Like Connie, she's like, she fell apart and she had to take some time off when y'all went away. But it's
right.
got to be pretty cool for you to be able to come back because people can see where you are now, and that you at the same time that we didn't watch you grow over this last 10 or so years, we imagined it and now we can actually see it. And I love when you bring that term to life. Adulting is hard.
Well, I mean, we did this for Connie. It's all for her.
Exclusively.
We heard she was having a rough time when we went away, and we're like, guys, we gathered around the local deli here in Los Angeles and went,
where we meet frequently.
we have got to reboot the show. This girl Connie is having a rough time.
But the nice thing about it, though, is that you really are sharing some good life lessons in there. What are the ones that you hope people walk away with?
Well, a lot of it actually ends up being more cautionary tales of what not to do. And you know, the meat of a sitcom is when things go wrong.
Hot wings, hot Cheetos, hot pretzels, and hot beers. Oh. That's the last time I listened to Guy Fieri.
Ultimately, the theme and tone of this season especially is like, even though things change in the relationships between characters, family, even if it's chosen family, sticks together no matter what. Through the ups and the downs, and you know, the relationships may not always be exactly the same, but through thick and thin, everybody is still unequivocally, unconditionally there for each other. And I hope that in a world where everything is absolutely nuts and adults are being raised up in a very strange time, you have your family, whether they're your friends around you or the family that you were born with. So I think that that's a thing that we want to really take with us and showcase for the audience.
You know, a lot of times child actors don't continue beyond. This is a cool case of where you can continue beyond. We have a vibrant theater scene here in Houston. A lot of kids who say, when I grow up, I want to be. So let me start with you, Nathan. Best advice for the future actor?
Well, I think theater is a great place to start. I think it gives you a lot of sense of what you really want to do, and specifically because you can do it locally. You can do it right there in your community without picking up, moving yourself and your family, if you're a child, to Los Angeles or New York. It's a great way to really see if you have the bug and if you love getting up in front of other people and doing it in a kind of low impact, low stress way. So I think anybody who's doing the theater scene, especially in their local community, is starting at the exact perfect place.
Yeah. Jerry?
I would say trust your instincts. Trust your instincts, because in this business that you hear a lot of no, and you have to have a very thick skin and go, okay, that no, that rejection, that's not about me or my talent or my abilities. That's just, I'm not right for whatever that is. And you just keep going. My dad still does. He calls it the rejection business. And you just got to be able to weather that and persevere, because your time will come. If you trust yourself and you know yourself and you work hard, your time will come.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. And most of all, thank you for doing this, not just for your viewing audience, but for Connie.
It's our duty.
You bet. You bet.
Thank you.
We love Connie.
Connie!